I'm here with Framework Math, and my company is Real World Learners. So I'm going to start off with the bullet points for anybody who just has 30 seconds to watch. It actually says it started now, so in case that first part didn't take. This is Sandra Beliski. I'm with Real World Learners, and I am the author of the Framework Math book series, workbook series. So I'm going to start off with some bullet points of what this is going to be about, because I know several people just have quick 30 seconds to watch. So I'll be talking about multiplication, how we can help our learners master multiplication without focusing on memorization. I will be sharing a freebie, so I'll talk more about all of this if you stick with me, but I want to let you know this, for anybody who is interested, this is a one-page summary of multi-digit multiplication strategies. It has little interactive flip books. So this comes from the book, but if anybody wants it, just ask. So that is the freebie. All you have to do is ask for that, and I will send those out to you after the live, and for the replay throughout the week, I'll do that. Okay, and then I have a dollar deal in the store. So I'll have links and information about these, but I want to show you that I have little flip books that are kind of flashcard style for a single digit, but they really focus on the strategies of what we're talking about. So we are talking about mastering multiplication without memorization, but there is a lot of deep understanding and continual practice that comes in. So I'll get into what I mean by that, but I just want to mention the freebie is there if you ask for it. This set of flip cards, flip books, these focus on the strategies, and each one uses an area model, so kids can really get those strategies and really visualize what the multiplication is. So they're not just seeing numbers as abstract symbols, but they're actually seeing what it is, what the arrays are, seeing the groups that are subitizable. We'll be talking about that. So this is marked down to a dollar deal in my store, and I will leave a link for that. Okay, so in case you haven't met me yet, I am currently transferring my entire online developing number sense course into a series of open and go workbooks. So these are, I think, much more user friendly, easier to access. The online course had a lot of moving parts. This is really streamlined and simplified, and significantly upgraded. So this is volume 1, laying the foundation. If you're even considering looking into this, I highly recommend starting with volume 1, no matter where your students are at. I do have the condensed version now for older students. So this is great. Even if you don't use anything else in the series, this is a really great introduction to the Reckon Rec. I always have this in my videos, in 10 frames, and how these two tools, we're just using two math manipulatives, really help kids build number sense so that they feel like they truly own their knowledge and they have a really good feel for the land. They know what they're doing when it comes to math. Okay, so all of math, we're building a framework for it so that you can pin anything else onto it, but we're building that solid framework in a simple way using two manipulatives. And just through this series of books, we're helping kids master numbers in their 4 operations. I have a lot more to say, but I want to keep the intro to this a little bit streamlined. So the first book is out. You can get the complete book for, I really hesitate to put ages or numbers on this because one of my big goals with this is to make it ageless. Math is something, especially addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Every learner needs to master this, needs to be confident in it. It's really the foundation of what they're doing. So this is purposefully not grade level. This is a vertical curriculum, meaning we take each concept and we build it across grade level. So everything you'll learn in elementary school for the 4 operations is in this series of books. So we cover it vertically instead of horizontally, because if you are teaching 2nd grade math but they haven't learned the 1st grade skills, they're going to struggle. If you're, so on it goes. But if you approach the big thing that you need to master and do it vertically, you're not going to have holes because you're building from the ground up. So for older students, they do need to go back to the ground up, but it's fun. We do it through hands-on activities. We do it through games. I never have reference to grade levels or ages so that nobody feels like they're doing something beneath them. But also, I've seen 4 or 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds just fly through this and get to multiplication because it's not graded. They don't have to stop when they're done with kindergarten math or something. They can keep going. So that's one of the big visions, one of my visions behind it, several visions. And then we have the addition book, which is sums from 1 to 1 million. So again, everything is vertical. We're going to cover everything related to the 4 key operations at a pre-K through, it gets up through 5th grade in some cases, standards, but it's not labeled in the book. I just want you to know that. All of it's there. Okay, and then multiplication is the next one coming out. I am days away from finishing it. I keep building out more projects, but I am in the final editing process, so that will come soon. If you want a reminder about when it comes out, leave a comment here and I will come back and tag anybody who wants a reminder about it. You'll probably hear me talk about it, but if you want to make sure you don't miss it, you can leave a comment. As soon as it's released, it will have the largest discount, so you'll get a chance to get that. Okay, so the other upfront thing I wanted to say is I have a lot more conversations and updates and samples, a lot of stuff going on in my Facebook group. So I'll leave a link, but you can just find it with Framework Math Facebook group. And we're building a really good community there, and with a focus on, we want to help our students, whether teachers, learners, or teachers, tutors, homeschooling parents. I am all 3, so I identify with all of you. Really master these concepts and dive into math in a conceptual way, so you see it. You're not just kind of free floating with it, with the numbers. Okay, so I'm going to talk kind of theory for the first part, and then practical, what this actually looks like for the next part. So if you can stick with me, you'll see both sides to the story. Okay, so the title of this session is Mastering Multiplication Without Memorization. If you have any questions as we go, leave a comment. I'll go through my notes and then I'll I'll continue the conversation if there's any questions here. Okay, so I titled this, I just said that, sorry. Mastering Memorization, Mastering Multiplication Without Memorization. Because as I'm going through Facebook, as I'm in my homeschool communities, this is probably at least 50% of the, I don't know what percent, I shouldn't say that, but most of the topics regarding math revolve around multiplication. So this is a huge thing kind of for everybody. If you're with your kids as they're going through this stage in their math education, and it's something I'm so passionate about. I want to help you break through with this with your kids. And I was a math teacher for 6 years, and I just really want to get rid of math anxiety. If we can raise our next generation of students not fearing math, we are empowering them to break through, to have so many doors open to them, okay? Not just in their career field, which is amazing that they if you fear math and you haven't ever mastered it, there's just so many doors that close. Unfortunately, it really is unfortunate, but there are. And there's different college tracks, there's different all of this. But I would say just as a person, being able to be confident and think mathematically and see connections and understand why things work opens up a lot of doors also. So for several reasons, I am very passionate and pouring all my time, energy into making this program so that it can help you help your learners. So I want this to be completely hands-on for the kids, and as much as possible, completely hands-off for the parents. So that is my goal with it. I am creating the workbook series right now, and then I'm upgrading my entire course. So right now the course is built around videos, but I'm transitioning to the workbooks, and then I'll go back and redo all of the videos so it matches exactly with this unit by unit. So it will have the books, it will have video that can be add-ons. I have a whole line of interactive boom cards that will go with each unit, and then a lot of printables. So there's a lot of things that can be added on for more depth and more practice, but the workbooks can be a standalone foundational element to help kids master their math facts. Okay, so I keep getting off track. I have to stick to my notes here for a minute. Okay, so multiplication is a big topic and it comes up a lot. And I've seen that so many students just kind of hit a wall when they get to multiplication. They may have been fine or may have not really noticed because the gaps are small, but the gaps keep getting bigger and bigger if you don't have that foundation. So by the time they get to multiplication, if they're not strong with addition, it just hinders everything and then it's really hard to keep going. So I have a whole nother, I won't dive into addition here, but I'm very excited about that as well. But with multiplication, this is where it really hits. And I see so many people trying just to power through this with their students with any form of memorization. And so you're probably aware if you are working on multiplication at the moment, there's a whole world of songs that you can use to memorize your multiplication facts. There's stories that are completely unrelated to numbers, but they're used to tag it into your memory. There are, of course, skip counting. If you can do it often enough and fast enough, you can get to the fact you need if you skip count down the chain. And then there's tricks, like the nines trick. You hold down one finger and you can count the ones on the right and the left. So there's a lot of things that can help you memorize. But there's a few really big flaws with this, even if you could get them to memorize their facts. First of all, fundamentally, if you just focus on memorization, you're really depriving, not you as parents, but the system. We're really depriving kids of a chance to dive deep into number sense, see how it works, really own it, and be confident in themselves. Secondly, they're just not making all of those connections if they're just memorized. Oh, the other thing I was going to say is, secondly, there's the group of kids who can memorize. They'll do fine. They'll go through it. And then there's probably a much larger group who you can memorize it for a short time or you just can't memorize it. But either way, it's just such a stumbling block and it creates so much negative emotion around math and conflict with parents or with teachers. So the whole realm of memorization has a lot of problems with it. Okay, so that's why I want to have this video, have this talk about what can we do? Like, what else do you do if you don't memorize? Okay, so for anybody who's really not trusting what I'm saying, I want to put an asterisk on that. And the end result of what I'm doing is kids will know. They will be fluent with their math facts. But we're not going to approach it through the front door of memorization. We're going to go in through the back door and help them explore the whole house and get so comfortable in it that they'll be so fluent with numbers, they'll know their math facts. They'll be able to do it. And then if you want to break out the flashcards, do something like these flip books just for recall, that is so fine if they have that foundation of knowing what they're doing. So there's a lot of approaches with this. Okay, so the next part of my notes here. Why is there value? So I've talked about why kind of the negative side of memorization and how that can hurt kids, or even if kids can do it, it doesn't help them. If that's like your only single line is just focusing on memorization without building out the number sense. So on the positive side, what is the benefit of taking time to really build strategies, build that number sense, give them the ability to see why it works? So if you could just say this is what it is, why would we take the long route to say this is how it works? So I have three points to this, and I'm going to try to keep it brief. First of all, when you take a deep dive into number sense and you can help kids see, we're talking about multiplication here, but with anything in math really, if you can help them see why things work, how it works, really see and touch and feel. So when you're using the Rec and Rec or the 10 frames, you're building it, you're seeing it. When you see what is there, you also see what's not there. And then you can see combinations because you can trade things. There's so much that goes into this. This is not just a toy. This is magic when it comes to math. So we want to give kids that experience where they're seeing it, they're touching it, and then it becomes mental math. And I know sometimes mental math kind of has the connotation of you can do tricks in your head and you can perform in these, math camps. But I would say I don't mean that kind of mental math. I mean mental math where you see the groupings in your head, you you can rearrange as needed, which is what addition, subtraction, multiplication, division are, and you're just confident about it. You don't have to constantly ask, am I right? Or check the answer key or do something, because you know it makes sense. And you have a sense when you get an answer of whether it's even in the right, whether, you added or subtracted, and whether your answer makes sense. Okay, so being able to see something. Secondly, I actually have 4 points now. I just thought of a new one. Just the ability to draw connections. So if you see